Welcome back to Top 3 Hits. In this episode, we shine a light on the poetic voice and introspective songwriting of Shawn Colvin. Emerging in the late 80s and rising to prominence in the 90s, Colvin carved her own space in folk and adult contemporary music with her warm vocals and emotionally rich lyrics. Her songs often explore themes of love, resilience, and self-reflection. Let's dive into the top 3 hits that define her musical journey.
Sunny Came Home. Album, A Few Small Repairs. Genre, folk rock. Songwriters, Shawn Colvin, John Leventhal. Producer, John Leventhal. Release date, June 24, 1997. Our first featured single in this new edition of Top 3 Hits is the remarkable track, Sunny Came Home, performed by singer-songwriter Shawn Colvin. The song opened her 1997 studio album A Few Small Repairs and was officially released as a single on June 24, 1997, in CD and cassette formats. It was also released in the UK that July, although it wouldn't make it onto the charts there until its re-release in 1998. Sunny Came Home became a major breakthrough for Colvin, peaking at number 7 on the US Billboard Hot 100, marking her first ever top 10 hit on that chart. North of the border in Canada, the track climbed to number 3, while in New Zealand, it reached number 20. The song's success was further cemented when it earned 2 Grammy Awards in 1998, Record of the Year and Song of the Year. Colvin also received a nomination for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance. While the song peaked at number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100, it also climbed to number 1 on the Billboard Adult Contemporary chart, where it stayed for 4 consecutive weeks. Interestingly, the song was not initially intended to be released as a single by the label. However, after gaining momentum on contemporary hit radio, adult contemporary, and pop radio stations, the label decided to issue it as a single. At the time, the industry still emphasized full album projects, and physical singles, usually including 1 or 2 tracks from the album, were released to boost both chart presence and album sales. This contrasts with today's music industry, which tends to focus more on standalone digital singles rather than cohesive albums with a thematic or conceptual arc. In Canada, Sunny Came Home became a massive hit, reaching number 3 for 2 weeks on the RPM Top Singles chart, and topping the RPM Adult Contemporary chart for 3 weeks. In the UK, the single had a more modest run, peaking at number 29 after its re-release. Elsewhere, it reached number 44 in Australia and number 90 in Germany. Release dates: United States, February 4, 1997, Contemporary Hit Radio. June 24, 1997, CD cassette. United Kingdom, July 28, 1997, CD1 cassette. August 4, 1997, CD2. Re-release, May 18, 1998, CD cassette. Year-end chart positions, 1997. Canada, RPM Top Singles, number 26. Canada, RPM Adult Contemporary, number 8. US Billboard Hot 100, number 39. Adult Contemporary, number 6. Adult Top 40, number 3. Top 40/Mainstream, number 19. AAA, Adult Album Alternative, number 3. I Don't Know Why. Album Fat City. Genre, folk rock. Songwriter Shawn Colvin. Producers, Kenny White, David Kane, Larry Klein. Release date, October 27, 1992. Recorded at Larry Klein's house. Our second guest in this edition of Top 3 Hits is the song performed by Shawn Colvin, an American singer in the folk rock genre, who released the single I Don't Know Why during the last quarter of 1992. A single that has been covered by artists such as Maura O'Connell, who made the first recording of it in 1991, Alison Krauss in 1992, and more recently by the lead singer of the iconic American band from the 80s The Bangles, none other than Susanna Hoffs, who released her version in August 2023. The track, featured on Colvin's studio album Fat City, would be released on October 27, 1992. The album reached number 142 on the Billboard 200 chart and number 2 on the Top Heatseekers chart. I Don't Know Why would appear on Billboard's Modern Rock Tracks and Adult Contemporary charts, just like another single from the same record, Round of Blues. Among the artists who collaborated on the album that included the single, we find several well-known names such as Bruce Hornsby, David Lindley, Joni Mitchell, Mary Chapin Carpenter, Bela Fleck, and John Leventhal. Although the single we're including in this episode wasn't Colvin's most successful in terms of charts and awards, we can safely say it is one of her most heartfelt and emotional songs. That's why it remains a regular highlight of her live performances. The track also appears in the soundtrack of the 1995 film Clockwork Mice. Round of Blues. Album Fat City. Genre, folk rock. Songwriter Shawn Colvin. Producer Larry Klein. Release date October 27, 1992. Recorded at Larry Klein's house. The next single in this episode, and the last in today's top 3 hits, is the song performed by Shawn Colvin titled Round of Blues, part of her album Fat City, from which the previously discussed track also comes. This song carries a slightly rougher or more intense tone that doesn't leave you indifferent. On the contrary, it contracts your body and generates a sensation of energy wanting to burst from within. It's highly contagious, and its warm yet subtle tones are interwoven with a guitar strength that doesn't let you turn it off. It's as if it forces you to wait and see where all that compressed energy in every note is going, as its harmonies uplift your soul. It's as if every note held an atomic power ready to detonate when performed. This is the kind of song from Colvin that makes her a fundamental part of the folk rock genre. Her creations, since the late 1980s, have shown us that it doesn't take massive budgets, spectacle, or heavy publicity to realize that some of the key pieces in music history often seem lost, left on the dusty shelves of record stores from another era. Yet they become unique and essential pieces to understanding the evolution of music, its eras, and its textures. I would even go as far as to say that songs like Round of Blues give us a first step into understanding genres like alternative, especially in its indie rock tendencies. There's a very particular burst of energy in the song that hints at that style. But instead of erupting completely, it's consciously held back, showing a kind of sonic control like no other. One cannot underestimate the energy, grace, and precision in Colvin's voice, which in every word, every whisper, transports us to another dimension. A dimension like no other, especially when you take a moment to think about other prominent female voices from the same era, like Suzanne Vega, for whom Colvin provided backing vocals on her famous track Luca, and who just recently released a new work in 2025, or Jonathan Brooke, a true fighter of the indie current who, even against the tide of major labels, has given us sonic gifts like the one we're describing today. And of course, we cannot forget Tori Amos. What they all show us is a niche of sound where the quality of women's music is evident in every note, every harmony, and every guitar stroke, whether acoustic or electric. In songs like these, we can always find musical material of such importance and maturity that they can easily stay with you throughout the years. As I once told a friend, one tends to acquire, and by this I mean buying music and physically owning those works, which in the end defines the sense of ownership, the kind of music that you know has such quality that whether you're in your 20s, 40s, or even 90s, you can press play and feel that same genuine, pure sensation from someone who created a melody out of love for music and their profession. Not just to fill a catalog with commercial fluff that ends up forgotten, gathering dust, or even hidden from others out of embarrassment due to its poor quality. So, as the song says in one of its verses, "So wherever you go, you better take care of me this time." When we hear sonic creations like this, we simply can't remain indifferent to their sonic majesty, to their bursts of energy. We have to become active participants in the song itself. Once we understand that energy, which, as we know, cannot be destroyed, only transformed, we realize that it flows through each note, whether through headphones or speakers, into our ears. where it only grows stronger. And that's the energy that leaves us restless and filled with something indescribable that nourishes the soul. That is good music. Like Round of Blues by Shawn Colvin, that makes us excited to turn on our chosen sound device each day, knowing with absolute certainty that the start of our day is going to be simply brilliant. Because, as we all know, we are what we eat, and if we're feeding ourselves with good music, the outcome of that digestion can only be positive energy and a mindset ready to take on our daily tasks. So friends, in summary, despite the little current information in digital archives, with few highlighted entries and a kind of neglect from the mainstream, I believe that today's featured track is one of those gems that cannot be overlooked. Just like with diamonds, sometimes we must dig through a lot of rubble, not of soil, but of sonic garbage, until we find that precious gem. And then, with patience, polish it, just like the pressure that turns stone into a diamond, to reveal a sound treasure of immeasurable value due to its rarity, something increasingly noticeable in today's times. Now, in terms of chart recognition, we can say this single reached the Billboard Modern Rock Tracks chart, as well as the Adult Contemporary Singles chart. And as mentioned earlier, the album Fat City, released in 1992, reached position number 142 on the Billboard 200 and number 2 on the Top Heatseekers chart. It was released as a single in the United States and also as a CD5, for those who remember the small format CDs popular in the early 90s, in the United Kingdom.
There you have it, the top 3 hits of Shawn Colvin. From the storytelling brilliance of Sunny Came Home to the emotional vulnerability of I Don't Know Why and the spirited rhythm of Round of Blues, these songs highlight the soulful artistry of one of folk pop's most distinctive voices. Stay tuned for more episodes of Top 3 Hits, as we continue to celebrate the greatest songs from music's most iconic artists. And for you, what are the top 3 Shawn Colvin songs? Leave your comments and join in the interaction with our community. This was a program for Music and Life by Karlos M. Created by Rune KM Productions. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment telling us your favorite song from this artist. You can also donate on my PayPal, musicandlife.km@gmail.com. Your donation is like a friendly invitation for a cup of coffee, a small gesture that shows your appreciation for the work I do. Every contribution, no matter how big or small, makes a difference and helps me continue creating content that I hope you enjoy. Thank you for your support and for being a part of this community. Until next time. A program for Music and Life KM. Created by Karlos M. Produced by Rune KM Productions. 2025 copyright.